Today we unravel the chilling tale of one of Japan's most famous and vengeful spirits, the Yurei of Oiwa. This ghostly figure has inspired countless plays, films, and ghost stories over the centuries, and her legend remains a powerful symbol of betrayal and revenge in Japanese culture. But who was Oiwa, and how did she become one of the most feared spirits in Japanese history? The story of Oiwa is a tragic tale of love, betrayal, and supernatural revenge. Her story originates from the Edo period, in the early 17th century, and is most famously depicted in the kabuki play Yotsuya Kaidan. Oiwa's tale has been retold in various forms, each time emphasizing the horror of her fate and the terrifying consequences of her wrath. The legend of Oiwa begins with her marriage to Emon, a low-ranking samurai. Although Oiwa was devoted to her husband, Emon soon grew dissatisfied with their life together. His ambition led him to seek a wealthier and more influential match. To achieve this, Emon plotted to murder Oiwa. He enlisted the help of a local doctor who provided him with a poison that would disfigure Oiwa, rendering her unrecognizable. Emon planned to use her disfigurement as an excuse to divorce her and marry a woman of higher status. Oiwa, unaware of her husband's treachery, consumed the poison and soon fell ill. Her once beautiful face became horribly disfigured, her eye drooping and her skin blistering. When she saw her reflection, she was horrified and devastated by what had happened to her. In her weakened state, she learned of her husband's betrayal, and in her grief and rage, accidentally killed herself by falling onto a sword. However, Oiwa's story did not end with her death. According to the legend, her spirit returned as a Yurei, a vengeful ghost, determined to exact revenge on Aemon and all those who wronged her. Oiwa's ghost is said to have appeared to Emon and his new bride on their wedding night, her disfigured face twisted in fury. Terrified, Emon fled, but Oiwa's spirit continued to haunt him, driving him to madness and ultimately to his death. Oiwa's tale has become a staple of Japanese ghost stories, with her spirit symbolizing the consequences of betrayal and the enduring power of a wronged soul. The story of Oiwa has been adapted into numerous plays, films, and even modern horror stories, each retelling adding new layers to her legend. Oiwa's vengeance didn't end with her death. Throughout the centuries, many have claimed to encounter her spirit, leaving them with stories that are just as terrifying as the legend itself. Next, we'll hear the real-life accounts that continue to haunt those who dare to tell them. Our first real-life account comes from the late 19th century, during a time when the story of Oiwa had become widely known across Japan. A kabuki actor named Kikugoro V, famous for portraying Oiwa on stage, experienced a series of inexplicable and terrifying events that many believed were the result of the Yurei's curse. Kikugoro was preparing for his role as Oiwa in a new production of Yotsuya Kaidan. As he began rehearsals, strange things started happening. The actor began to suffer from severe headaches and mysterious illnesses that doctors could not explain. Even more disturbingly, members of the cast and crew began experiencing accidents and sudden illnesses. One stagehand fell to his death while setting up a scene, and another was struck by a falling piece of equipment. The production seemed cursed, with tragedy after tragedy befalling those involved. In an attempt to appease Oiwa's spirit, Kikugoro visited her grave at the Myogyo-ji Temple in Tokyo, where he offered prayers and left an offering of incense. He asked for her forgiveness and for the curse to be lifted. After his visit, the strange occurrences reportedly ceased, and the production was able to continue without further incident. Kikugoro's experience left a lasting impression on the theater community in Japan. To this day, actors who take on the role of Oiwa often visit her grave before performances, offering prayers and asking for her blessing to avoid the wrath of her vengeful spirit. Our second account is much more recent, taking place in the 1990s in Tokyo. A young woman named Ayako, who had recently moved into an old apartment building, began to experience strange and unsettling events that she could not explain. Her apartment was located in Yotsuya, a neighborhood famously associated with Oiwa's story, and Ayako's building was rumored to be near the site where Oiwa had lived and died. Soon after moving in, Ayako noticed strange occurrences in her apartment. Doors would creak open on their own, lights would flicker, and she often felt an unshakable sense of being watched. One night, as she was preparing for bed, she glanced in the mirror and saw a face that was not her own staring back at her. The face was horribly disfigured, with a drooping eye and a twisted expression of anger. Ayako screamed and turned away, but when she looked back, the face was gone. Terrified, Ayako confided in a friend who was familiar with the legend of Oiwa. Her friend suggested that she might be experiencing the wrath of Oiwa's spirit and advised her to visit the Myogyoji temple to pay her respects. Desperate for relief, Ayako followed her friend's advice. She visited the temple, offered prayers at Oiwa's grave, and left a small offering of incense. After her visit to the temple, the strange occurrences in Ayako's apartment stopped. She no longer felt the presence watching her, and the unsettling events ceased. Although she never saw the disfigured face again, Ayako moved out of the apartment soon after, unwilling to risk further encounters with the vengeful spirit of Oiwa. The Yurei of Oiwa is a powerful and enduring figure in Japanese folklore, representing the deep pain and fury of a wronged woman. Her story is a reminder of the consequences of betrayal and the enduring power of unresolved anger and grief. The real-life accounts of those who believe they have encountered Oiwa's spirit serve as a testament to the fear and respect that her legend commands. As with many tales of vengeful spirits, the story of Oiwa continues to captivate and terrify, reminding us of the thin boundary between the living and the dead. Whether seen as a cautionary tale or a genuine haunting, Oiwa's story remains a chilling part of Japan's cultural heritage. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the dark and haunting world of Japanese ghost stories. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations into the supernatural. Until next time, stay curious and remember to respect the spirits that may be watching.